Life has a strange way of shifting course when you least expect it. One moment, you're making plans for the future with someone you love, and the next, you're standing in front of a moving truck, facing the end of a marriage, a fresh start, and an unexpected $455,000 raise. For the past year, I've been lurking on forums like this, finding solace in the experiences of others, hoping to learn from their wisdom. Now, I feel compelled to document my own story, not just as a personal record to avoid repeating the same mistakes, but also in the hope that it may help someone else navigate a similar path. I was 34, married to my wife, also 34, for a decade. For 10 years, she had been my partner, my best friend, the person I thought I would grow old with. But last June, something began to shift. The warmth between us started to fade, and an unfamiliar distance settled in. Sensing the disconnect, I suggested dinner, hoping we could talk through whatever was happening. I wanted to understand, to fix things, to hold on to what we had. But as we sat across from each other at that table, I noticed something unsettling. She wasn't just distant, she seemed almost indifferent. When I voiced my concerns, she laughed them off, brushing them aside as if they were nothing. The pit in my stomach deepened. On the drive home, I finally asked the question that had been haunting me. Do you even love me anymore? She didn't hesitate. No. The weight of that single word crashed over me. I gripped the steering wheel, my heart pounding in my chest. I forced out the next question, though I already knew the answer. Do you want a divorce? Yes. It felt surreal. Just weeks earlier, we had been looking at model homes, envisioning a future together. I could still hear her voice as she admired the layout, saying, I like this one. I can see myself watching the kids play from the bedroom. It was all a lie. A cruel mirage of a life she had already decided to leave behind. I begged. I pleaded. I offered to fight for us, for everything we had built. I wasn't perfect, but I was willing to try. And for a brief moment, she said she was, too. We started marriage counseling. I took time off work because I could barely function. Sleep eluded me. Food lost its taste. My mind was consumed with one thought: how to fix us. Every evening, I sat in the guest bedroom, the space I had exiled myself to, waiting for her to come home, desperate to show her that I still cared. Then, a conversation with my mother planted a seed of doubt. Are you sure she's not seeing someone else? I dismissed the idea. She was always at work or home, wasn't she? But something gnawed at me, a whisper of suspicion that refused to be silenced. One night, I opened her MacBook. Her messages were synced. I scrolled through them, my pulse hammering in my ears. And then I saw it. Hey cutie, what are you up to today? A message from one of the cooks at the restaurant where she worked as a manager. My stomach twisted. Her response wasn't one of discomfort or correction. She answered casually, as if their flirtation was routine. I couldn't wait for her to come home. I drove to her workplace, heart pounding, and asked her to step outside. The moment I demanded her phone, I saw the truth in her face. That split second of panic before she even spoke, it told me everything. Still, I needed to see it for myself. The texts. The pictures. The undeniable proof. I threw her phone back at her and left, rage and heartbreak warring inside me. When I got home, I smashed every picture frame that held memories of us. Of the life we had shared. Of the illusion I had been living in. Later that night, she returned home. Her voice was trembling when she asked if we could reconcile. I gave her one condition: show me everything. I recovered months' worth of messages between them. At first, she lied. They had only kissed. Then, just touched. Then, oral, but not sex. Each time, I confronted her with the texts, and each time, she backtracked, revealing more and more of the truth. The affair had started in April. While I was breaking down, desperate to save our marriage, she was sneaking off to meet him in parks, in his car, even in the restaurant behind the trash can. While I sat at home crying for her, she was texting him, telling him how much she missed him. I should have walked away then. I should have slammed the door and never looked back. But love makes fools of us all. For weeks, we went back and forth. She claimed she wanted to close the chapter with him. She said she would block him, give me access to her phone, her location, anything to prove she was done. And for some reason, I let myself believe her. But the truth was, something had already shattered between us, something that could never be put back together. My brother told me something that finally made me see clearly. No matter what happens, the old relationship is dead. You can try to build something new, but what you had before, it's gone. And he was right. We tried, but I was never the same. I was either angry or empty. No matter how many dates we went on, how much she tried to convince me she was different, the betrayal lived in the back of my mind. Some wounds don't heal. Some bridges can't be rebuilt. This is just the beginning of my story, but one thing is certain. Sometimes, the universe rips apart the life you thought you wanted so you can finally step into the one you deserve. The arguments never seemed to stop. No matter how much time passed, I couldn't let go of the anger, the betrayal, or the pain. My mind was stuck in a loop, forcing me to ask the same questions over and over, trying to make sense of it all. I thought reconciling was the right decision at the time, but in hindsight, we rushed into it too quickly, desperate to cling to something that had already crumbled. And while we jumped into trying again, we delayed getting professional help, waiting far too long to seek marriage counseling when we needed it from the start. Frustration built inside me like a storm. I felt like I was the only one putting in the effort to heal us, the only one searching for solutions. I recommended books, I suggested therapists, I tried to map out a path towards something salvageable. But the woman who once stayed up until 3 or 4 a.m. talking to her affair partner suddenly found it too exhausting to have deep conversations with me about rebuilding our marriage. Any time I wanted to discuss the affair, she would shut down, saying it was too much. How was it too much for her when I was the one drowning in it? I was angry at what she did, angry at how little she seemed to care about repairing it, and angry at myself for still trying. If I could offer any advice to someone in this situation, it would be this: take time before making any decisions. Sit with the pain. Give yourself months, even a year, to figure out what you really want. Because if someone was willing to leave you so easily, chances are they were already halfway out the door long before you knew it. The divorce was finalized, but we were still living together, pretending like we could somehow make it work. Maybe we needed space, time apart to think. So, we agreed to take a break, but with the rule that we wouldn't see other people. I left town to visit a friend, hoping for some clarity, but being surrounded by happy couples only made my pain worse. It was like watching a version of life that had been ripped away from me. I cut the trip short and told her I'd be home but wouldn't bother her. I wanted to give her the space she claimed to need. The very next day, I saw her leave work and go to a restaurant. I still had access to her location. She was there for hours, 5 p.m. until after midnight. By 1 a.m., she still wasn't home. I checked again. She was just sitting in a parking lot. Something in me snapped. I drove there, knowing exactly what I was about to find. And sure enough, there she was, sitting in her car with him. A man she had risked everything for. A man who was nothing but a downgrade in every possible way. The rage that coursed through me in that moment, I don't think I've ever felt anything like it. If I hadn't stopped myself, I might have thrown my life away right then and there over someone who wasn't worth it. She didn't come home that night. And the next day, she sat me down and told me, once again, that she didn't love me. Just like that, as if the last few months of trying to piece things together had meant nothing. She found an Airbnb for the rest of the week and started looking for an apartment. Before we ever attempted to reconcile, I had warned her. If she broke my heart again, I wouldn't just walk away, I would burn everything to the ground. I told her that if she didn't want this, she needed to leave me like an adult and not drag me through another round of lies. She didn't listen. So, I kept my word. I had the messages. The evidence of everything they had done in the restaurant. And I sent them, to HR, to her manager. A week later, she was fired. She had just been promoted 3 weeks earlier, but none of that mattered now. I wish I could say that revenge felt sweet. That it brought me some kind of peace. But in reality, I felt empty. Numb. Lost. For the first time in my life, I didn't even want to exist anymore. I had to call one of my closest friends and ask him to talk me off the ledge because I genuinely didn't know if I could keep going. She moved out. But the dog we had together remained a connection between us, giving her an excuse to come back every now and then. And somehow, despite everything, despite how much damage she had done, I let myself slip back into something physical with her. No expectations. No commitments. Just a body to fill the void. At least, that's what I told myself. We spent more and more time together, going out, hooking up, pretending like it was just casual. But every time I asked if she wanted more, she shut me down. It's just physical, she would say, making it clear that she didn't see a future for us. And if that was the case, then surely she was still seeing him, too. Why wouldn't she be? So, I started dating other people. I told myself that I deserved to move on, even if part of me still felt chained to her. Then, at the beginning of this year, she found out. She lost it. She was furious that I had been seeing other women. And when she confronted me, all I could do was shake my head. How can you be mad? I asked her. You told me this wasn't emotional. You told me it was just physical. What did you expect me to do, wait around for you to change your mind? Once again, we attempted no contact. A final break to see if we were truly done. When we spoke again, it was for 6 hours, one last conversation to say everything we had left unsaid. After the silence, we started sending memes and videos again, little things we had saved for each other during the time apart. But deep down, we both knew the truth. Whatever this was, it wasn't working. So I asked her, "Do you still love me?" She hesitated before answering. But when she finally did, it was the first time in a long time that I actually believed her words. "Of course I do," she said. "But I can't give you what you need to heal." She was finally in therapy, finally addressing her depression, finally working on herself. And maybe that was progress. Maybe it wasn't. At this point, I didn't even know what was real anymore. But she had made one thing clear: she was incapable of giving me the love I deserved. We said our goodbyes. Or rather, she said, "See you later." I haven't blocked her. Maybe she'll come back one day, and when she does, I'll be justified in telling her to go fuck herself. People will judge her, and they should. People will judge me, too, for being weak, for being a fool, for giving her chance after chance. And they'd be right. It's always easy to say what you should do, until you're the one drowning in it. A part of me is still angry. But more than anything, I'm just sad. Sad for the life I thought we were building. Sad for the house that was supposed to be ours. Sad for the kids I had imagined us having. Something inside me broke during all of this. And while I know, logically, that time will heal me, there's still a small, naive part of me that wonders if she'll ever change, if she'll ever come running back, ready to fix what she shattered. Maybe one day, that hope will fade completely. But in the meantime, I'm not waiting around for her anymore. I could sit here and say that everything is perfect now, that life is all rainbows and butterflies. On paper, things are going well. I make 6 figures, work out 4 to 5 times a week, which I was doing even before all of this, and I'm in the process of landing an even better job that would give me a fresh start in a new city, along with an even bigger salary. I've been on plenty of dates, and right now, I'm seeing an incredible woman, beautiful, successful, and making twice what I do. We're taking things slow since I may be moving, but she's been a breath of fresh air. When the divorce was finalized, we made sure everything was separate, just in case reconciliation didn't work. I kept most of the finances since I had always earned more, and it only seemed fair, considering the way she chose to leave. No debt. No kids. Nothing tying us together anymore. I go to therapy every week, and honestly, the gym and therapy have been my 2 closest friends throughout this entire process. And yet, despite everything going right for me, something still feels off. I don't know the right word for it. Maybe something inside me is just broken for good, or maybe time will smooth over the cracks. For now, I just take it one day at a time. To anyone else going through something like this, be kind to yourself. You're human. It's going to hurt like hell, and that's normal. You'll probably make a lot of mistakes along the way, and that's normal too. I don't know if sharing all this will help anyone else, or if it's just helping me process my own emotions, but this is the summarized version of how my marriage fell apart. At one point, someone asked if my ex-wife and I were still together. The answer is no. Not anymore. I've moved forward, and so has she. The only time we crossed paths again was when I came across some childhood items she had left behind. Tossing them didn't feel right, so I did the decent thing and returned them. It was a brief, cordial exchange, and then we went our separate ways. That was it. Each day gets a little better, but there are still moments where I feel broken. I'm doing all the right things, yet I still have to force myself to feel normal, if that makes sense. I still cry at least once a week, which is an improvement from how it used to be, every other day. Healing is happening, just at its own slow pace. As for my relationship, my girlfriend and I broke up. It was amicable. We still see each other casually, but at the end of the day, we were in different places in life. She's a decade older, successful, and well-established. Meanwhile, I'm still hungry to prove myself. Still figuring out my next steps. Meeting her was exactly what I needed, though. She gave me back my confidence post-divorce, something I didn't even realize I had lost. I've never been particularly spiritual, but I can't shake the feeling that the universe, or something, is telling me it's time to move on. Despite thinking I bombed the interview, I got the new job. The offer came in, and with it, a $45,000 salary increase, more than my ex-wife and I had combined when we first moved to this city. The recruiter had reached out to me about applying, and it was pure luck that I even went for it. At first, I felt guilty about leaving my current job because my manager really had my back when I was going through the divorce. But as fate would have it, he got switched with another manager at the beginning of the month. 3 of my team members are either leaving the company entirely or moving to different departments. And if that wasn't enough of a sign, my lease conveniently ends just 5 days before my new start date. It's as if life is screaming at me to move on. So I'm doing it. In just a few weeks, I'll be moving to a new city, 3 hours away. I don't know a single soul there, which means I'll have to build a whole new life from scratch, make new friends, establish new routines, figure out who I am without the military or a marriage shaping my path. It's a strange mix of excitement and nerves. The bittersweet part. It's a city my ex-wife and I once talked about moving to together. But now, it's just me. And maybe that's exactly how it's supposed to be. My father once told me, this shouldn't have happened to you, but given that it did, this is the best possible outcome. And he's right. It doesn't make the pain disappear, but it puts things into perspective. I'm still sad. Still grieving. But I'm also stepping forward into something new. To anyone else who's had to start over, how did you do it? What does life look like for you now? Let's hear it.